Come in.
So guys, happy Halloween, and we're Star Trek fans, right? So Star Trek fans, many of them also like vampires, and you can find more than a few on Star Trek. Now, these are not the blood-sucking kind, but the psychic energy draining kind. Sort of like the toxic vampires, energy drainers. From the soul-sucking original to the one who takes away your creativity. We're looking at 5 aliens who truly drain their victims. Yeah, they're a toxic vampires. So set a course for the dark side of the final frontier. Let's kick it off with the man trap. This is the OG, the original energy drainer, the M113 creature from the man trap. That was the very first episode of Star Trek, the original. I sometimes forget. Everyone says like the cage where no man has gone before. Those were pilots. The first episode was the man trap. Now, the shapeshifter is a master of illusion. It appears as whomever its victim loves or desires most. Mostly, right, is Dr. McCoy's old flame, Nancy, Bones' old, beautiful gal. So behind the sweet facade is a lonely, desperate creature whose actual diet is salt. It doesn't just steal your table seasoning salt, though. It sucks the salt right out of your body, the sodium, and it leaves you a withered husk. It's just a salt-depleted, messy husk. It's a great piece of classic horror. And it's sci-fi horror, right? It's a monster that literally drains the life out of you. One sodium molecule at a time. The first vampire of the Star Trek universe was a shape-shifting, salt-sucking tragedy. And I think that's the cool part too, because it's a great scary episode, but you really feel sorry for the creature in many ways. Man of the People, Next Generation, moving on to the next-gen era for some emotional draining. This episode features Ambassador Alcar. He's a diplomat in Man of the People. He appears calm, wise, incredibly effective at his negotiating skills, right? But there's a dark secret to his success. He's basically an emotional parasite. He transfers his own negative, violent feelings into younger women, and that ravages them. It essentially sucks away their youth and their sanity, and that maintains his own serenity, his calmness, his stability, his power. Deanna Troi, the counselor, is his next unwilling victim. She rapidly ages and becomes erratic as Alcar becomes more youthful and serene. It's a textbook case of a psychic vampire, a charming sociopath who steals the inner stability of others to fuel his own success. And I know for some it's a hard episode to watch for Troi, but she does a great performance, really awesome, outrageous makeup, and I think you'll like. Sticking with Next Generation, we're going back to the more emotional romantic drain. This is Sub Rosa, and it is a debated episode, but it's also beloved. Dr. Crusher falls head over heels for a ghost. Well, he says he's a spirit or ghost named Ronan, while attending her grandmother's funeral. Ronan is actually a spirit, a highly central entity, whatever you call an alien, that resides in a family candle and a haunted Scottish colony manor. He's been the secret, passionate lover of Crusher's female ancestors for centuries. His true nature, however, is to bind the women to him through this candle, wacky kind of candle, draining their willpower and physical life force. And that sustains his own existence. It's a literal draining of life and will wrapped up in a space romance, a spectral Casanova whose love is fatal. And it's really a guilty pleasure of mine and many. I think Duncan Rieger, the actor, really makes this episode. And Gates McFadden as Crusher. It's a little over the top or a lot over the top, but really good acting and great, great production design. Now it's time to turn to Deep Space Nine and the world of creativity, or the creative muse, the creative energy. In the episode The Muse, Jake Sisko, Captain Ben Sisko's son, he struggles with his writing. He gets writer's block. It happens to me, everybody, right? He beats a beautiful, mysterious, and intense lady named Onaya. Onaya, she introduces herself as a muse, someone to kickstart his creativity, and that will help him unlock his writing prowess, his genius. But it's at a heavy cost. Onaya is a psychic energy vampire who feeds on the creative force and the life energy of artists, writers, whomever wants to be creative. She pushes them to the brink, consuming their passion and drive until they're burnt out shells. Faster and faster and harder they create, the more she feeds. It's a terrifying take on the stereotypical artist's muse and creation. Instead of inspiring, she is literally cannibalizing the creative spark into the well is dry. And it might not be the greatest episode, but for Cyril Lofton, for the actor who plays Jake, it is really one of his best and most interesting performances. And our final stop on the space Star Trek Vampire Express is the Delta Quadrant with Voyager. It's an episode that perfectly summarizes the will-draining theme here. Tom Paris, our favorite pilot of Voyager, becomes obsessed with a sentient starship named Alice, a beautiful, seductive light ship he finds abandoned in space. Alice then is integrated into Voyager's systems, and Tom becomes dangerously fixated on repairing and flying her. It's all he can think about. He becomes obsessed. Now, this thing, this ship, this entity doesn't drain blood or salt. It drains Paris's will, his mind. She psychically manipulates him, forcing him to comply with her will, isolating him from the crew, from B'Elanna, from everyone. And it's compelling him to make more and more dangerous decisions, wacky. It's mind-controlled and total domination of Paris's will. The ultimate form of mind control for a ship that seeks only to be flown by its chosen puppet. Tom Paris was completely vamped out by a spaceship, not a blood-sucking vampire, but a energy, will, mind sucker, a toxic energy draining. So what do you think? The traditional vampires are great. Of course, I still love them, but Star Trek and science fiction in general has given us lots of space vampires, energy draining vampires. Pretty cool. What do you think? Who are your favorites? Who do you love? Give us your thoughts. Give us your feedback. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.